So yeah guys, I think it was about time to make a video talking a bit about this incredible character that Jake is and the huge importance he has for Finn and Adventure Time as a whole. There are definitely many interesting points to discuss about him and what he represents. I think it would be fair to start by saying that Finn definitely wouldn't have survived throughout the seasons of Adventure Time if it weren't for Jake. Of course, later on Jake ended up dying, and because of that, Finn had to manage on his own and lived for quite some time after his death. But we also have to take into account that, by that point, Finn was no longer a goofy preteen. He had gained a lot of experience and maturity throughout his journey, which definitely played a huge role in helping him overcome the dangers and challenges that came his way. However, when we look at the period of their lives that the show covered, it's very clear that even though Finn was undoubtedly a very brave kid for his age, having accomplished many things that seemed impossible, showcasing incredible skill, strength, and courage, he still wasn't capable of making it on his own without Jake at that time. There are countless moments where it's obvious that Finn would have died if it weren't for Jake's powers saving him. I think it's really cool how useful Jake's powers are and how extremely creative he is in using them. Many times he manages to resolve situations that would otherwise be incredibly complicated in just a matter of seconds, making their lives so much easier. He can also reach far-off places by traveling super fast, grab things that are too high up, turn his hand into a key, transform into a boat. Of course, these are just a few examples of how Jake's powers help out. I could easily spend 2 hours listing all of them because if we really pay attention throughout the episodes, it becomes clear that his powers can help in pretty much any difficult situation they face in some way. Jake clearly loves his powers and enjoys using them for anything and everything, even if it's just to reach for a cup of coffee that's too far away when he's feeling lazy. And honestly, I don't blame him. I'd probably do the same. I think it's amazing how incredibly charismatic Jake is. There's something about him that I can't quite explain, but it's truly unique. I've never seen another character quite like him, and maybe there simply isn't one who can capture the same vibe that Jake brought to Adventure Time. His sense of humor was phenomenal, and most of the comedic moments he provided were extremely fun and memorable. I mean, who doesn't remember him singing that Little Bacon Pancakes song? Or doing that classic dance with the stinging ant, which Cartoon Network played over and over during commercial breaks? Jake's sarcastic and humorous personality, always tied to a lighthearted and well-timed sense of humor, worked perfectly and played a huge role in making Adventure Time such an amazing show. Since the series often had intense moments where the characters were in real danger, having Jake around with his laid-back attitude was a relief. He often served as comic relief in these grim situations, making the experience even better. However, his biggest contribution to the show goes far beyond just humor. I believe what truly makes Jake special and significant in Adventure Time is the way he views the world and the lessons he was able to teach the audience throughout the episodes. I know it's impossible to be invincible, but if there's a character who comes close, it's Jake. He has an incredibly positive and unshakable outlook on life and the world around him. To him, mundane things don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Jake doesn't waste time dwelling on misfortunes or questioning why something happened to him. He simply makes the best of what he has and tries to get the most out of every situation. As a result, his life feels much lighter, but the idea that mundane things don't matter isn't a reason for him to feel sad or give up. Instead, it's what allows him to fully enjoy the little things life has to offer, especially alongside his brother. Jake simply appreciates the beauty of life. He understands that life is fleeting, and he accepts that. He knows that everything has its place in the world, and if things are changing in scary ways, if they're ending or disappearing, it's because they aren't settled yet, and that's okay. This calm, inspiring, and quote-unquote invincible way that Jake chooses to live his life is one of the things I admire most about him. That, along with his enormous heart, this is beautifully demonstrated through the way he deeply loves his wife, his children, and Finn as well. Episodes like the one with Princess Cookie showcase this perfectly. Even though Jake isn't flawless, he's always trying to improve and be fairer to others. And I can't go without mentioning how important Jake was to Finn in Adventure Time. Without a doubt, Jake was Finn's greatest emotional support. He wasn't just an older brother, he was the closest thing to a parental figure that Finn never had. He was Finn's best friend, someone he could always rely on. He was a mentor, a guide, a squire, a protector, a savior, and so much more. Jake was fiercely loyal to Finn for as long as he could be. He was someone who was always there, someone who would face any challenge by his side, no matter how big or impossible it seemed. He was there to listen to all of Finn's struggles and constantly help prevent him from making reckless mistakes. And let's be honest, Finn made a lot of bad choices throughout the series. I can only imagine how things would have turned out if Jake hadn't been there to guide and advise him during those difficult moments. The way Jake genuinely cared for Finn, protected him, loved him, and expressed kindness and compassion at every moment is one of the most precious and beautiful things I've ever seen in a Cartoon Network show.